Desire Redefined. Let's get into the vibey vibes. When you're hopping on, say hello. Say hello, hello. How are you, ladies? Getting our jams on. Feeling all sassy and a little boobalicious in my dress here. How are you, ladies? When you're hopping on, say hello. And if you're here on the replay, obviously make sure to say hello as well. How are you, ladies? Oh my goodness. I am so excited for today. Let's get into the vibes of the heart. Hello. All right. How are you, ladies? If you're hopping on, say hello, hello. Love a good music vibe. Jennifer, beautiful. Nancy, hi. Oh, I love you too. Dance it out with me, ladies. A little shimmy, shimmy, maybe. I don't know. Get into the vibes. Love that color. Oh, it's so glad. Hi, Nicole. I am so excited for today. It's just going to be amazing. How are you ladies doing today? What is the vibe? Oh my goodness. I turned that off right in time because an advertisement just popped in. How silly is that? Silly YouTube. Silly YouTube. So how are you ladies today? Are you all caught up on day 1 and 2? Let me know where you were at. And if you're not caught up yet, that's totally fine. There will be replays until end of day Saturday. So that will be up, which is amazing. So we got to cover the mind and the body. And today we're getting into the heart. And I left this day for last because this is the key piece. This is such a very important piece because no matter how much we really look at the beliefs and the mind and how our mind then interacts with our body and all of the body tension that we have, all those pieces, it really originates, and the shifts and the transitions that we do come from the heart. So this is the valuable piece. So I am so excited for you ladies that are here live. And again, if you're watching this on the replay or after the fact, get ready to dive in. And I can't believe our journey is almost over. I'm actually kind of sad. I've been loving this with you ladies. So I also today am going to tell you about how you can continue working with me, because although I wish in 3 days I could give you everything that you need to really heal on the inside and really feel this sense of passion and pleasure and really expand your desire and feel good and strong in your sexual self, I would be a miracle worker if I could do that. And because we need more than 3 days, I'm going to let you know about my upcoming program, Empowered Pleasure. And I am like bursting at the seams to tell you all the pieces. It is redonkulous. And I added some extra bonuses even right before this because I was like, this is just amazing. It's amazing. I'm so excited. Like I'm excited for it. It's amazing. Connie caught up, but looking forward to rewatching replays by Saturday. Good. Yeah, it's always nice to rewatch because when we go through things the first time, and this goes with any big learning, and especially when we're healing and redefining how we really show up in intimacy in the world and connection with others, it's going to take some time. So first bypass, we might only get just to that first layer, and some shifts in the mind and the body and the heart happen. And then when we go over it again, we deepen that and shift even more and deepen and shift more. So this is something I truly believe in, that there are limitless layers inside of ourselves, limitless layers. And this is why the healing journey and the expansion journey and really exploring and growing and learning about ourselves, it's never ending. We are going to continue doing this work. I'm still doing this work. I am still, learning my heart. I'm still learning how to play big. I'm still learning how to really be in touch even more with my sexual self, because there's more layers. There's always more layers. So when we know that there's always more layers inside of our heart to go into, then we just keep exploring and we keep peeling back those layers and just appreciating the layer that we are at, knowing that we'll go into the next layer. So Yes, rewatch as much as you want. Do the homework too. I'm seeing, even like when you do the homework, when you really sit down and do those pieces, that adds so much deepening to the experience that you have. And this, again, even though right now for you ladies watching now, it's a free experience, I am showing up for you like this is a program for you. And the more you show up, the more you're going to shift. And the more you show up, the more you're going to heal. And the more you show up, the more that you're going to redefine and really align more with what is true for you and your heart and your sexual self, not what society, not what religion, not what mom and dad, not what anybody else has told you about how you should show up in your sexual self, but rather how your soul wants to show up. What is an alignment with you and your highest self? Because our highest self is connected to such infinite, massive amounts of pleasure and energy and expansion, and has our best interest always in mind. So when we really tap into that with inside of ourselves, then we really are making sure that how we are showing up and who we're being is not the shoulds. It's the soul. It's soul sexuality. It really is in alignment with you, which means it feels good. It feels flowy. It feels expansive. It just feels right, right? It just feels right. So as we dive in here today, and there's a part of me that wants to tell you about the upcoming program, but I'm going to hold off. We're going to save it to the end, and you'll definitely want to watch it. I know I'm not trying to do like a hook or anything like that. Like legit, this is going to be amazing for the next program or the program that's following after this, and how to work with me. It's amazing, and it's amazing. It's amazing. Okay. Focus, Chelsea. Just focus. All right, I'm going to pull up my notes because I am super excited. And when I get excited, sometimes I skip over stuff. And I don't want to skip over stuff for you ladies. Okay, so when it comes to these pieces that we've already talked about, right? We talked about the mind and we talked about the body and how the body and the mind is connected. And one of the pieces that I shared yesterday is when we are caught in this feedback loop between our mind and our bodies, we can get stuck because our minds can think these negative things, and then our body responds, it tenses down, and when our body tenses down, then our mind is going to respond again, and we're caught on this vicious feedback loop, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. Hello, lovely. If you're hopping on, say hello. So what we need to do is we have to bring in the piece of the heart. The heart is where it's at. This is where you are going to make the biggest shifts for yourself. And this is the place where the deepest and the most tricky shifts of what we need to do need to happen. And what I mean by that is our hearts hold on to the pains and the wounds that happen into our life. And it holds on to those things. And then it says, never again. Our heart wants to protect ourselves, and it's our human body. Our heart wants to protect our human body and make sure that our human body can survive and be okay. And people call it the ego and all these things, but I really feel like it's our heart that's really trying to protect us. And what happens though is our heart holds on to things out of protection because we've been hurt in the past. And most of us women have been hurt in some way or another when it comes to intimacy, whether it's actual connected to sex and our sexual self. Maybe we've been raped in the past, or we had not so good experiences. Were confused, or we had somebody maybe first time that you had sex, they laughed at you. Anything that happens around your sexual self, or even just in your heart in general, with intimacy in general, in connection with somebody. Maybe you had someone who was emotionally abusive to you, or anything, and it doesn't even have to be that big. And I want to be careful when I classify or qualify the hurts and the pains that we experience in the past, because to our hearts, to your heart, to my heart, our hearts, this is again where size does not matter. Our hearts know it as pain, as pain, as pain, as hurt, as hurt, as hurt. Like that doesn't feel good. And so whatever the experience has been, either one or multiple experiences that you have had in the past, your heart, what it does is it holds on to the pain. It holds on to the pain because Your heart is trying to protect you and remind you that I don't want to have that happen again. We need to protect ourselves so we don't feel hurt again. I don't want to feel hurt again, because who likes to be hurt? Who likes to have pain? Not me. Unless sometimes, well, a little spanky spank in the bedroom once in a while can be kind of nice, because it's a little playing with pain, but not actual heart pain, right? So anyways, focus. So when we have these heart pieces, that there's pain that happens, we hold on to it. We hold on to the pain, and we do this as a reminder of, I don't want to have that pain happen again. I'm scared to have that pain happen again. I'm fearful of that pain happening again. And when we're holding on to pain, we are not, we're holding on. Like if you hold your hands out right now, it's tight. There's no space. We have to be able to let go and release that pain, heal that pain, be able to process what has happened. And again, most of us have had some shit that's happened to us in the past, even if it's been unintentional. So this shows up too, even in relationships, that couples, they get into these negative feedback loops and they end up hurting each other. And one of you gals, I think it was either yesterday or the day before, had mentioned resentment that was piled up because there was rejection that had happened in the relationship. That partner kept rejecting sexual advances, and there was hurt that happened. Well, guess what happens? Our hearts hold on to that and go, I don't like that pain. That doesn't feel good. And when it doesn't feel good, we're not going to go toward what doesn't feel good. That's just a natural instinct for us as animals, that we do not want to experience pain. We don't want to experience hurt. And so when we don't heal what's in the heart and what our heart is holding on to, then we're not making room for pleasure. We're not making room for having an intimate connection with ourselves or with a partner, because our hearts are fearful. And when our hearts are fearful, it's going to activate and be this huge influencer on your mind and your body, because your mind and your body are going to keep going and going and going. And if your heart is feeling the fear too, then it's just this whole fear system that's happening inside of your body. And sometimes we don't even know this is happening, because it can feel subtle, and it can feel like, well, nothing really big has happened to me in the past. Like, well, I wasn't maybe sexually abused in the past, or no one has really emotionally abused me, or, I generally have had pretty good relationships in the past. But what happens is there is sometimes these subtle pains that can happen, and it's the subconscious, right? We talked about that on day one, that our mind holds on to the subconscious and our hearts hold on to that too. And it activates our system to really respond in a way that is protective. So when we talk about the heart and holding on to pain, so that means there's no letting go, right? We've talked about that a bit, to really experience the full pleasure and our full desire and the full experience in our bodies, and to really have that experience. We want to be able to let go. We want to release, right? Remember, lean back into ourselves, to trust that it is okay to open up. Because when you are opening up your sexual self along with your heart, that is the most vulnerable place that we can be. And even just saying that right now, I can feel just tears come up in me, because I can feel it. I can feel it. It is so vulnerable, because all of you is present. When you have both your sexual side present, when you are body present, but also your heart is present too. And when our heart and our bodies, all of us is present, it's like we are in the spotlight. We are in the spotlight naked. And this can be very scary for us, especially when being open and being vulnerable, there had been hurt in the past, because your heart is going to go, heck no, I'm not going to open up. Heck no, I am not going to put my heart out there. I'm going to keep my heart all protected over here and make sure that everything is going to be okay, because never again, I don't want to be hurt again. I don't want to be stepped on again. I don't want to feel that experience again. So everything goes onto system lockdown. The body goes on to lockdown. The heart goes on to lockdown. Our mind gets trapped, and our sexual self gets trapped in all of these places. And so if you experience this, and I want to even actually highlight for you what this could look like so that you know and really understand, okay, how am I showing up? How is my sexual self and this desire inside of me and who I am sexually, how am I showing up in relationship to my heart? Right? Because intimacy, this is why my whole business is intentional intimacy. It's not intentional sex, it's intentional intimacy. Because when we are really in full intimate mode and connecting with ourselves and with others, it means we have our body and our hearts on board. Our heart is there, our heart needs to be there. And I got my little whiteboard for you ladies here today. So I don't always go into whiteboard teacher mode, although I have a whole new system on my computer. So one day I'll be able to share my screen with you and get all fancy, but Miss Dr. Chelsea is not full-blown tech savvy. So good thing that's not where my area of expertise is. So what I want to show you ladies is what the system of intentional intimacy looks like so you can understand what are the pieces that really need to be included to feel like our bodies and our hearts can really come alive and open up. So what this looks like, and my marker is getting a little dried out. So, and you can see my lights in there. This is the intentional intimacy pyramid. So what this means is we need to have these 4 pieces really good and feeling really good and healed and expansive and strong so that we can have a really good intimate relationship with somebody. And what these pieces are, all right. So my handwriting's not the best, but you'll get the gist. So what we need, this base layer in intimacy is yourself. Having a good relationship with yourself, having healing in your heart, feeling good in your mind, in your body, in your heart, all these pieces, understanding who you are, speaking your wants and needs, all of those pieces, right? Feeling confident in yourself, like to initiate sex when you want to, confident to say no when you want to, really feeling like I feel strong in my heart, I feel really connected to myself. We got to have the self piece. This is like at the heartbeat of everything that I do. And then to have a good intimate relationship with somebody, we want to have an emotional relationship with somebody. This is where we need to make sure our heart is included. And our heart is not going to be included if we've had pain and trauma in the past or hurt in the past and our heart is on lockdown. So that means when we go into this emotional connection with somebody, we're not really sharing our full hearts, we're reserved, or we're covering ourselves up with anxious energy. So then we're not really showing our full hearts. So then when we go up to these next 2 layers of having a physical relationship with somebody and a sexual relationship with somebody, which, like we talked about before, a kiss just gets to be a kiss. So this is where we separate the physical and the sexual. They can be connected, but they don't have to be connected. But to get to this place where we have true intimate connection, true healthy, secure relationship with somebody and with ourselves, to have that sexual piece, we have to have that self base. We have to have that emotional connection, which includes our heart. So we want to make sure that we are having our heart on board and it's healed and it's being present, right? Heart being present means that our pleasure and our passion and our connection gets to fully come alive. If our heart is not present, then we're not really experiencing the full capacity of the pleasure in this world and the pleasure in life and how our sexual self really wants to show up. Because our sexual self is like buddy-buddy with our heart. They're like best friends here. But this is where, when it's a secure place, when we're feeling really good in our sexual self, they are best friends. And then they're like holding hands, and then they walk forward into intimacy. But if there's been pain in your heart, if there's been hurt in your heart, if there's been trauma to your sexual self, which then also means trauma to your heart, if there's been hurt to your sexual self, which then, because those parts of you are buddy-buddy, that means there's hurt to both. So what happens? What happens in this? when we don't feel like it is safe to include not only our sexual self, but our heart in intimacy with somebody, what happens is we go into these two places of either anxiously throwing our sexual self out there or avoiding things altogether. So this kind of wraps back to what I was saying about protection of the heart, right? Protection of the heart means, okay, if I don't feel like it's okay for both my heart, buddy, going with my sexual self, going forward, showing up in this world, feeling safe and trustworthy and confident to do so. If we don't feel like it's safe to do that because of the pains in the past, then our sexual self, so this, we can go into the anxious place with our sexual self. And I alluded to this a little bit because it was hard not to talk about the heart piece this whole time in day 1 or day 2, just even a little bit because it's at the core of everything. But what can happen is when we are afraid and we are having that fear and we are nervous and scared and even just hesitant, a little bit hesitant. So there's different kind of layers of that. There can be full on fear, full on scared or hesitant, like, I don't know about this. This feels kind of iffy here. Then what can happen when we go into heart protection mode, and this one used to be me all the time back in the day, even early on in my relationship with my husband, is I would go into, and many women do this too, is they go into this putting your sexual self at the forefront, and it's almost like this heart protection that happens. So what I mean by that is you might be using sex as a way to get external validation because your heart is fearful that you're going to feel hurt and pain and abandoned or feel like you're not enough or have all that hurt again. So let's try to make sure that doesn't happen and lead with our sexual self so that we can feel connected with somebody and get this false sense of security, because it's false sense because your heart is not included. When our heart's included, then that's when the trust and the security and the safety really starts coming into play. So this used to be me. I would, like, through even high school, college, and even though I had gotten married in that time and I'd gotten divorced too, but there was a theme in that where what I would do is put my sexual self forward and I would hide my heart. So I was anxiously putting my sexual self out there. And if this is you, just awareness around it, to really be curious. And this is going to be part of your homework, is to really pay attention. How is my sexual self right now showing up? Yes, that was me for sure. This happens for a lot of women because it feels safer to lead with our sexual self because, well, one, it tries to guarantee that we'll get that connection and love, but it doesn't really happen because our whole heart's not involved and we have to be included right here. Ourself needs to be included in intimacy. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's not going to be sustainable. It's not going to feel good. And been there, done that, doesn't feel good. So when we lead with our sexual self and put it out there, it's almost like, okay, maybe the sexual experiences, some of them are fun, but it's kind of okay. It's almost like it's surface sex. It really is surface sex because you are not showing up. And I see this happen too, even in relationships, because a lot of women, what they can do is they show up or they say yes to sex with their partner, even though they don't want to. So their heart is saying, no, I don't want to, but they're putting their sexual self out there and saying, well, you have to go into the bedroom anyways. It's almost like your heart is like shoving your sexual self. So we're having a disconnect and we're not having a good relationship going on inside of ourselves. So sometimes that happens and then we say yes to sex, and even though we don't really want it, and then resentment starts to happen and it doesn't really even feel all that good. So maybe you do actually get off, and maybe your partner gets off too, to use that language. But remember, orgasm is not the end goal. But if we're focused on that and we're like, well, let's just show up in the bedroom, my body is there, but your heart's not in it and your heart's not really there. Now what you're doing is you're just showing up on the surface. And this actually creates a really negative dynamic in a relationship because it's not really the deep connection. So your partner, or even if this happens on the reverse side, all you're really getting is kind of like a French fry, and it's not really fully satisfying and nourishing the intimacy in a relationship. So then you or your partner is going to ask for sex again, like tomorrow, because even though you kind of connected, it was surface connection. So it wasn't sustainable and it wasn't deep enough to really deepen into that connection. And that's the only way I can really say it, is that deep connection. So we want both on board. But again, we put our bodies in. It's like we put our bodies into play, we put our sexual self into play, but we aren't really showing up. So this happens a lot of the time. And again, I used to do this a lot of the time. And I remember, so even when it was a handful of years ago, when my husband and I can't remember if we were engaged at the time. No, we were not engaged at the time. Time is weird. So I remember realizing that this dynamic that I was creating was, oh my gosh, I am actively keep asking for sex with my partner, my now husband, as a sense of reassurance that everything is okay and that I'm okay. And I kept reaching out for sex, and because my heart was like, oh my gosh, does he love me? And if he's not having sex with me, that must mean he doesn't love me, because society and movies show us that you're going to have really good passionate sex all the time if you really love somebody and someone really loves you. Totally not the case. But that was still in my mind, even with all the years of work that I've been doing. Sometimes, as I said earlier on in this lesson, I'm still working on stuff. Definitely not perfect. By being over here and teaching you these things, I'm further down along the path, but definitely not perfect. Totally not perfect. And thank goodness, I don't know why I have a paper towel, but sitting on my desk, I'm going to use it. So I would reach out and try to get that reassurance and try to make sure that my heart was okay, but I was doing it in the wrong way. And that put so much pressure on my husband and so much pressure on our relationship. And then, he was like more pushing away, which had me reach out for it more. It was just getting into a bad dynamic. And I see this happen all the time in relationships too. And even if you aren't dating anybody, or if you're not in a long-term relationship, but you are dating somebody, careful how you're putting your sexual self out there. Are you including your heart in the process? Are you allowing the space? Remember, we talked yesterday about the space that is needed for our sexual self. Are you actually allowing the space for you to get to know each other, for trust to be built, to feel that it's safe to be connected? And if not, your heart's not going to hop on board, and then you're just kind of throwing out your sexual self all by herself. And she really needs to be with the heart too, because remember, they're buddy-buddy. So that is one of the ways that I see a lot of women show up, and they lead anxiously. Anxious meaning, I'm going to keep putting this part of me out for reassurance that you love me, because I'm trying to protect my heart and try to make sure. It's almost like this koala bear, like I'm going to hang on to you and cling on to you to make sure that everything is okay, because I was hurt and pained in the past, and if I hold on to you emotionally and sexually, then everything's going to be okay. Not really, but that's what we tell ourselves on the inside. So on the other end of the spectrum is we can get into this place of avoidance, and not only is our heart held back, but our sexual self is held back too. So with the anxious type of way of showing up sexually, it's our heart's pulled back, but we're putting our sexual self out there, but she's not really out there authentically. It's just kind of just tossing her out there. And if we're in that more avoidant place, so I see a lot of women do this too, especially if we've had really big hurts. This shows up a lot in trauma, if we've had just really, really big hurts that have happened, because we're going to hold our heart back and we're going to hold our sexual self back. So not only are we not connecting on a heart level, we're not connecting on a body level too, and everything gets held back. So a lot of women show up this way too, and sometimes we do a mix of both, right? Yes, Meg, yes, this happens in my relationship, but actually it's my husband doing it mostly, and that happens. So we need to understand that dynamic, and that's something that we do get into. So in that program that I'm going to be telling you about empowered pleasure, we are going to talk some about the dynamic in relationship and how to really show up in an empowered way. And when we show up as empowered women, really feeling empowered in our pleasure, really feeling empowered in our sexual self, then that energy is brought into the relationship. But if we're bringing disempowered, if we're hiding, if we're holding back, if we're not bringing our authentic selves and our sexual self, our heart, all of us in full connection out into a relationship, then it's going to bring that disempowered energy into the relationship. And it's so fascinating, even though we can't control a partner, what we can do is we can impact the energy that shifts around us and actually influence them to really show up in a different way. Because if we show up in a different way, it's going to shift the relationship. It's going to. That's how it works. When you shift over here, then the energy is going to shift over here. And with that, we have to learn how to show up in the way that we want to, that we feel empowered. Even if you're not in a relationship right now, understanding and healing the sexual side of you that's been hurt, the sexual part of you that has been feeling disempowered and shut down and locked down, or has been flung out there and kind of showing up, but not with your heart involved, which honestly, all of us women have been disempowered and in lockdown because we live in a very masculine forward world. As we talked a lot about yesterday, if we're in do, go mode, and we're in this very masculine world, then there's not a lot of room for us to really show up in our full feminine and really sexy and feeling the pleasure and feeling the connection with ourselves and with the world around us and with a partner if we so choose. Really at the heart of everything that you do, healing the heart inside, it just ripples out to everything ripples out to your business, it ripples out to your family, it ripples out to a partner, it ripples out to how you show up in everything. Because at the core, at our heart, if we don't heal this within, then what we are doing is carrying around wounds with us everywhere. And that's the thing that's actually leading us, rather than our soul, our highest self, leading ourselves. And that's what we want to have lead ourselves. Not the shoulds and not the wounds that are there. And the shoulds and the expectations and the protections are there because the wounds are there. So we got to make sure we got to heal the shit on the inside. Can't emphasize that enough. So when we have, if we go into this, we have either the anxious or that avoidant protection strategy to protect the heart from not going out there and being vulnerable and being in that full trust of opening and letting go and receiving. Then if we're in that avoidant place, now we have everything that's held back. A huge, huge piece of how we connect with ourselves and with the world. It's numbed out. It's locked down, it's covered up, it's protected. What we want to do is make sure that the heart learns that it's okay to open, that being in connection with others and being in connection with the world, being in connection and intimacy is a safe thing. But if you have learned that it hasn't been a safe thing, we have to heal the heart. We have to go into the heart to make sure that the heart knows that it's okay to open. And when the heart knows that it's okay to open, then our sexual self knows it's okay to open, and we get to play, we get to experience all the pleasure. It's all in this empowered place because that is the way we want to show up. It really is. This is what desire and redefining it. That's why I call this whole program here redefining, or desire redefined. It's redefining the desire. Because we have to know that we can't just show up sexually. We can't just fling ourselves out there and expect to connect. We can't just have these expectations. We can't just have this feeling that, okay, well, I should be able to feel all this pleasure and connect or even orgasm, but what is wrong with me? One, there's nothing wrong with you. But if we feel like we can just show up sexually without looking at all these pieces, then we've been sorely misinformed, ladies. We really have. So this is, even in this program and in the upcoming program that I have, it's like this re-education of yourself. It's this shifting and healing inside of your sexual self, because that's where the shift happens. So if you are not feeling like it's safe to open up and connect in the world within yourself and even with a partner, then that's where you have to go. You have to go to your heart. You really need to go to your hearts. And I know it's scary. I know it's really scary to look at the things that are fearful. That's why we hide our heart. That's why we protect our heart. That's why we pull it back. And maybe if we have a partner, maybe we share our heart some of the time, but we're not comfortable being vulnerable with our heart and having our sexual self out there. So if we can even imagine what it would be like sit for a moment and really think, how would it be for me if I showed up with full heart and full openness, and my sexual self could come out and play however she wants to, and know that it's safe to do so. Because the pains in the past tell you it's not safe to do so. It's like, no, we can't do that. We cannot go there. But we can, if we learn that it's safe, that we know that it's okay, which means we take the healing that happens, that we need to shift on the inside. And what we do with the healing is it's steps, right? Remember, as I talked about earlier in this lesson, there are layers and layers that we get to go to in our heart. So it's really expanding your heart's capacity to open, which means the pains that your heart is holding on to, we want to heal those and let go and trust that it's okay to be open. And when we trust that it's okay to be open, when we feel a sense of security in that, then our sexual self gets to be free and show up how she wants to, without any restrictions, without any expectations, without any place where it's hindered and small and crushed and put into a box in all of those pieces. But we do that because we're going into protection mode. And we do this too, this kind of wraps into even that mind piece when we are protecting our heart, right? And we feel like it's not safe to be ourselves and feel fully open, because when we feel really safe to be ourselves, to be seen, to be visible, and to be, up front and center with all of us, right? With our sexual self, with our hearts, all the pieces. When we do that, if we do that and we don't feel like it's safe, then we're going to protect in either that anxious way or avoidant way, or we have even other protection sides of us come in. Our minds come in, say like a perfectionist side of you comes in and says, no, I'm not allowed to go into the bedroom unless everything is perfect. I look perfect, or if it's a perfect situation, or I can't initiate unless everything's perfect. That is you protecting your heart, because you're afraid that if I don't show up with full openness, if I do show up with full openness, if I just be myself, which isn't going to be perfect, which isn't going to be, in this restricted place, but if I show up that way, am I going to be okay? Am I going to be accepted? Or am I going to be hurt and pained again? Because maybe in the past, you showed up authentically and fully visible and you were yourself, but then you got judged for it, you got shamed for it, you got shut down for it. And so what your heart does, it holds on to the pain and says, never again. And if I do show myself, I'm going to do it only in a perfect way. Or a lot of us, what we do too is, and I have a big people pleaser part of me. And these parts, it protects your heart. Your protection sides of you protect your heart. So sometimes we have a people pleaser side of ourselves. And really, honestly, ladies, so much of us women have this part of ourselves that's like, okay, if I show up in the bedroom, I'm going to make sure that he's happy. To myself be damned. I'm not going to have any focus on me, because really, even focus on you, like receiving that pleasure. Maybe it's your partner wanting to, please you with oral sex. Maybe it's your partner wanting to play with a toy with you. Maybe it's your partner focusing on you or just appreciating your body. But if it's hard for you to receive that acknowledgement, if it's hard for you to receive that feel good and that pleasure and receive that intimacy from somebody, then what we do is we block it. And this is another way of avoiding ourselves, is we avoid bringing our heart and our sexual self, but we put our sexual self out there, but just for our partner, just for somebody else, whether it's you dating or in a full, long relationship. We focus on them. If we focus on them, then no focus is on us. And if no focus is on us, then I'm not going to be vulnerable and I don't have to be open, and that feels a lot safer. But that's not intimacy, because you are not included in that. Yep, I do that. A lot of women do. So you are not alone in that. Again, I just want to highlight for you ladies that this is a place of becoming aware. We want to be aware of these things and see where we can shift and how we are showing up now, so we can see what's not working. Because you are here because something's not working. It's not feeling so good, right? You wouldn't have signed up for this if you're like, oh yeah, everything's great. I'm feeling good. Like my sexual self gets to come alive and there's no judgment. There's no shoulds or have tos. And I can just be me and I can have my heart come out and play too. Like all parts of me get to come out and play. If that was you, you wouldn't have signed up for this. And honestly, most women really need to have this program. I'm not going to lie. And what I have coming up here, because so much of us protect our hearts, and oftentimes we don't even know it. Things are not working out and we're not feeling very connected, or we're not in the sense of trust in really anything. So we go into protection mode. But if we are not trusting, if we are not opening ourselves up, if we are not in feeling of safety and comfort to be ourselves inside the bedroom and outside the bedroom, then things are going to get blocked, right? Things like the connection with a partner, things like feeling good with money. I even had a very anxious attachment to money. We have a relationship with everything. Or even if you have a business, showing up in your business, everything is going to be impacted if you don't heal the heart, everything. And because it's all connected. Everything that we connect to is connected to us. It's all connected. So when you have, right, people pleaser side of you is going to focus on the other person, it feels safer to do that, doesn't it? Because if we focus on the other person, then it's not focused on us and we're not in the spotlight. Because being in the spotlight feels scary, or maybe it's not even that it's you got hurt or your sexual self got hurt, but you've had all those expectations or beliefs like we talked about in day one that feels like, oh, if I don't show up in this way, or, if I didn't, even in the body piece, if I didn't give my body enough time to actually really warm up and be in the pleasure in the day to day, then I'm here, I'm not feeling anything, so I'm just going to focus on him and maybe get this over with. But no, you deserve the focus. You also deserve the focus. And sometimes too, we can even flip it to the other side. Sometimes we can kind of receive all the attention, but only just on a sexual point. We're not actually including our heart, and we don't even include the other person sometimes too. So there's so many different ways that this can show up. And not only, this kind of steps out a little bit from the sexual side of things, but it impacts the sexual side of things too, is if you are showing up in this place of protecting your heart, and we have these protections, which means it impacts how we show up in the bedroom, but it also impacts how we show up outside the bedroom. That people pleaser side of you is going to show up and get exhausted and try to seek that external validation and try to do all the things to feel safe in this world, to protect your heart from being pained and being hurt again, right? And it might be completely disconnected from the sexual side of things, but it starts to impact the bedroom, because remember, with this pyramid, if we're not feeling all good down here, then we're not going to be showing up with our full, authentic, secure, healthy, good, healed self inside the bedroom. So a people pleaser part of you might be showing up outside the bedroom in a way of, I have to make everybody happy, and if I don't make them happy, then they're not going to love me, and if they don't love me, they're going to leave me, and if they leave me, then I'm going to feel pain and hurt, and heart holds on to that. I don't want to have that happen. So we get overly activated. Same thing with the perfection part of you. And I name these things because I see this in a lot of women, because we go into these protection modes, and I've had them too. And I'm still working on these parts of me because they're the protector parts of us. We can't completely get rid of them because they're part of you for a reason. We just need to understand and really access the trust inside of your highest self, so you lead how you move through your life, that you lead how you show up in sexual intimacy, not the fears that your heart is holding on to. We don't want the fears to lead. So a perfectionist side of you might show up not only inside the bedroom saying, oh my gosh, I have to show up perfectly, or I have to do this perfectly, or oh my gosh, if I I don't know, maybe a blowjob that you want to give your partner. If I can't do it right, then maybe that freezes you and you're not even going to do it. Or you're looking for, there's so much high expectations about how you need to show up that you're not even going to show up. So this happens too outside the bedroom as well. You might have that perfectionist side of you show up outside the bedroom, because if you're not perfect and if you don't do everything perfectly and you're a little bit messy, then oh my goodness, how is that going to look to other people? Are they going to like me? Are they going to love me? And am I going to feel like I'm enough, or feel like people are going to be connected to me? And if there's been wounds or hurts in your heart in the past, then that perfectionist side is going to protect you and cover everything right up. And it's going to actually cover up your sexual self too. And this happens as well for, and these all usually get connected, an overachiever part of you. I used to have the whole trifecta of all three, right? People pleaser, perfectionist, overachiever. Because if I'm going to please people, I'm going to do it perfectly. And if I'm going to do it perfectly, I might as well do all of it, right? It's all connected. So that overachiever part of you shows up outside the bedroom and is exhausted. All of these things are exhausting, because when you are in protection mode, you're in do mode. And when you're in do mode, you're in go mode all the time and you are exhausted. This is why when you are exhausted and you feel like your system is just, you can never get fully rested, it's because you are constantly in this, you're in trauma mode, you're in fight, flight, or freeze mode, and you're constantly in this place of trying to feel a sense of connection, but you're coming at it from the fear place rather than the connection place. Yes, Nicole, I feel that way so much with perfection. And when he rejects me because he isn't in the mood, I am so upset. So this is a heart piece that comes in. When we feel, all right, if my partner says no, or someone I'm dating says no, then this is a heart piece that needs healing. Because just because someone says no and they're honoring themselves and they're honoring their bodies, because their body is not, and their sexual self is, it's not a yes right now. And there's some education that needs to happen around that, just as we talked in these first 2 days, that if there's this expectation that to be intimate needs to be the whole shebang of sex, then we stop it from the very beginning. So then there's no physical connection that often happens. But if someone is authentically saying no, and this doesn't fit for me, what inside of your heart is being triggered? What pain? Because if we're holding on the pain, something gets poked right here and your heart like lights up and goes, whoa, what just happened? Remember, we're trying not to have that pain happen again. And then you go into this whole system inside of yourself where maybe you yell at your partner, maybe you go into system shutdown, you withdraw to protect yourself. Maybe you start to tell yourself, oh, must be something wrong with me. I must not be pretty enough. And therefore, if I'm not pretty enough, I need to make myself even prettier. So I'm going to go work out, an hour every day, or I'm going to make sure I go do X, Y, or Z to make sure everything is okay. But we don't do to be okay, we be to be okay. And to be okay is to heal what is inside of your heart that is holding on to the pain, that is looking for never again type of mentality. So, and I don't know all the pieces within your story, Nicole, but that is something that really pops in. So we want to look at, all right, when I get triggered, when my heart gets triggered and that fear gets triggered, what protection strategy comes in? How does my body react? How does my mind react? What are the things I'm telling myself? And our minds, it's very creative. Our minds come up with all of the creative stuff about what it means when somebody says no to us, or what it means when maybe we didn't have an orgasm that time, what it means. It only means what we say it means. And if what we say it means is coming from a fear place and a suppressive place and a very disempowered place, then it's going to mean not so good stuff. It's going to be negative stuff, and it's going to go like this to your sexual self. If we have it mean something like, oh, it's totally okay that my partner says no. You know what? I'm a bit bummed because I wanted to connect, but it's okay. Because I know I'm okay and I know our connection is okay. And we'll be able to kiss and make out another time. There's a lot of pieces in that. A lot easier said than done. I understand that. But this is why we need to go to our heart here. Oh my God, that's what I do. I totally go to the gym to feel sexier, which there's nothing wrong with supporting your sexual self to feel in this, the energy. That's something that, even if we dip back a little bit into our body to support our sexual self, we want to have clean energy here. We want to have good energy. So to, work out, I work out because I want to feel good in my body. I'm wearing this cute dress today, even though I'm a little boobalicious, and some fun earrings, and I curl my hair because, as we talked about yesterday, our body, we get to adorn our body and take care of our body, but we want to do it from a heart-centered, heart-healed, our highest self leading those actions, not out of fear and protection of the pain that our heart is holding on to. So if we go to the gym because it's, if I work out and it's going to make me sexier, I'm going to feel sexier, and my partner's going to make me feel sexier, or maybe that will actually get him to initiate or her initiate with whoever your partner is. And it must mean that's going to help, but it's very fear driven. When things are driven in fear, we have to go into our heart and see what needs to be healed so that we can go easier and easier into what our soul, how our heart and soul wants us to show up in everything that we do inside the bedroom and out. Yes, I think it's from horrible sexless marriage. I'm sorry, sweetie. And now in my 1-year relationship, I feel like I needed to feel a connection that I never had before. Yeah, that's the anxious sexual self coming out. Going to the gym for me, though, isn't always for me because I feel guilty thinking I'm fat, because that's what my ex always said. So now I want to feel sexier for him. You are so right. Yes. So this is a heart healing place. This is where what we want to do, this is such a huge piece, right? About our sexual self and showing up just in intimacy, just showing up in the day-to-day world, is really making sure, okay, what about our past are we being tied to? What about the past is our heart holding on to because of the pain that's making it our current reality now? Because what we're holding on to because of the past, we're going to keep recreating now, which is going to then create our future. So think about it. If we heal what our heart is holding on to, then what we're doing is we're releasing what the pain in the past is there. We're processing it. We're moving through that so that our past is no longer, and the fear around it is no longer running how we show up in our sexual self. So once that's released, right? And it takes some time to release. Sometimes we got layers we need to release in there. Not sometimes, we always have layers. There's always more layers, right, ladies? So when we release that, then we're no longer showing up in a reaction to our past. We're showing up how we want to. Secure soul, sexual self that feels alive and vivacious, so that you get to choose, you know what, I'm going to show up and go to the gym because I'm actually going to do it in the support of myself and my sexual self, because I want to, because I desire to, not because I have to, not because I need to, not because I should, but because I desire to. A desire-led life not only is about sexual desire, it's desire in all things that we do. But if we show up in protection and fear mode, like showing up perfectly, that's I have to do this or else. Or showing up as a people pleaser, I have to show up this way or else. As opposed to, you know what, I want to show up this way. I desire to show up this way. And my whole system, my heart, every part of me and my sexual self trusts that I get to show up this way. That is a strong sense of sexual self, and the desire that comes from that, desire that comes from actual desire within yourself, that's the aliveness that happens in you. The should sexuality, it doesn't happen that way. But we have to learn to release these things and to heal from that past and what you're holding on to, because otherwise, even though mind shifts, I'm not poo-pooing the mind stuff. I think it's very important and very valuable, and our mind is part of the whole system in our body and our heart. But if we just do the mindset stuff, which a lot of people out there do, we're missing what our body is involved in, and we're missing the heart, which is a huge piece of it. Huge piece. Because once we heal the heart, then our minds no longer is being influenced by the fear and the pain that our heart is holding on to. So again, it all ripples out and goes into this beautiful connecting way. Yes, wow, so insightful. I'm so glad that connects with you. So what we want to do is to look at, and what I want you ladies to do as your last homework assignment here, and then I'm going to jump in and tell you all the amazingness for my next program that I have, and I encourage you to listen to it just to see if it's a fit for you, but I wanted to make sure that this little mini program here was really good and felt really connecting for you and really shifting for you. My hope is that even just one shift happened inside of you, something in your mind, in your body, and in your heart, even if it was awareness of where you need to focus. Because that's the thing, how are we supposed to make shifts and changes in ourselves if we don't even know what to look at? So many times we're like, something just doesn't feel right and I don't like this, but I don't even know what to do. So many women that I work with, they're like, I've read all the books and I've even worked maybe with someone before, or I've listened to all the podcasts and it's not working. Like, what do I do? A lot of these pieces, as I talked in this little mini program, is those are the shifts. We need to shift the mind and the body and the heart and the whole connection of your whole system so that you, as your soul, because your soul is in connection with everything, gets to show up as your most divine goddess, highest self, and it feels so, so good. And I'm telling you, the more you show up as you and you get to be yourself rather than go into do mode and have to protect yourself with all these, it's masculine energy is protection, because we go into, I have to do this, I have to do that, I should do this, I should do that, which is completely exhausting. And as I was mentioning just a little bit ago, is if we're in that constant state all the time, then our bodies have no space to relax. To be able to relax, though, your heart needs to know it's okay to let your guard down. Your heart needs to know that it's safe to lean back, that your heart knows that it's okay, that you don't need to prove anything. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to protect in anything. You don't need to do any of those things. You still have those protection sides of you in case you need them. Again, we don't get rid of my people pleaser, perfectionist, overachiever, all these parts of me. They're not gone, and I don't want them to be, because sometimes I need them to come in and protect me, right? You're going to need that. But you don't need it all the time. The problem is when we're in that activated protection mode all the time, it's exhausting and we can't relax. And if we can't relax, we can't let go. And if we can't let go, then we can't really feel the full capacity of what our bodies and the pleasure that our bodies have inside of ourselves. What we really deserve and what is actually the most magnificent thing that we experience as we're on this planet right now and who we are is the pleasure of life. Because if we don't feel the pleasure, then what's the point? What is the point? But we're told to not go toward pleasure, and we're told not to go to the desires in our life. We're told not to be, release and let go and to feel, because we need to go into productive, protection mode. And we go into that mode because there's so much fear that gets wrapped around in this world, because as humans, we want to try to protect ourselves. But when we listen to our soul, we know we're always going to be okay, and that how we show up is the most magical, beautiful, amazing way that you can show up. Because you are a sexy snowflake and there's no other version of you out there. And wouldn't it be a shame to hide that beauty from the world? And not only, right, you don't need to share your sexual self with the world, but at least with yourself. How amazing would it be to be in full connection with yourself, that you have all parts of you feeling in harmony. This is what being soul activated is about. This is what being showing up as soul sexual self is, that you are you. Because you being you, there's again nothing to do. It's just you uncovering yourself, releasing the protection strategies, so that what gets revealed, when the heart goes like this, what gets revealed is you and the full capacity of who you are, and your full heart and your full visibility and the authenticity of who you are sexually and inside the bedroom, outside the bedroom, just being a vivacious sexual being and showing up in the world that way. It feels so good. I'm telling you, it feels really good. It feels so much better walking through the world this way. Whether I'm having sex or not, it feels super good. So giving ourselves the space to do that, and the space to actually heal those pieces on the inside, and knowing how to confidently and safely and with trust show up in intimate ways with ourselves and with a partner. That's the most beautiful gift we can give ourselves, because passion is where it's at. Pleasure and passion and all those pieces, that's what moves the world forward. We have enough negative things that are in this world. We have enough fear that moves through this world. We have enough hate that moves through this world. I remember even, this was months ago, I don't know if you ladies have seen the TV show Chernobyl. I think it's like a 6-episode. I think there's like 6 episodes. I think it's on HBO. I don't even remember. I had to prepare myself to watch that because I was like soul sobbing at the end because of just knowing how much just negative shit is in this world. It just breaks my heart. So this is why I do what I do, because I want to infuse, and I do infuse more love and connection and feel good and passion and pleasure and feeling empowered in yourself. We need more women like that. I don't care what kind of impact you want to have on this world, although a lot of the women I work with are having big impacts. But if you are in connection with anybody, if you have kids, a partner, family, work members, anything, even if it's just you, yourself, and you in this world, showing up more with empowered, being more connected to yourself, hearts to you, my dear, it's the way to show up, because we need to energetically rebalance this world. And when we have more empowered women showing up in this world, when we have more women who are showing up with their full desire, their authentic sexual self, and how she wants to show up, how your soul wants to show up, and how you really just activate yourself, infusing that in the world and healing the heart inside, the hurt that has happened from all the crap in our world that's been inflicted on you, to give yourself the gift to heal that. There's no other gift. There really is no other gift. And the more women that I can impact to show up in that way, to be healed on the inside and do the healing, and it's not a snap of the finger type of thing, it's a process that happens. That means there's just more good in this world, more good in your own internal world, more feel good in here, more trust and open and passion and desire and just feeling connected to everything and being happy and calm, all those things. I mean, why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we do that? That's what I've been doing ever since I realized I could do that I get to be in charge of me. I get to hold the leadership of how I show up, and you also get to hold the leadership. You are in charge of you, nobody else. But we have to reclaim our power, because we've given our power away, because the power got taken away, and now we're going to claim it back. And this is where, I'm getting all fired up. So lots of times I get fired up. So I just want to send you ladies so much love. And the homework I want you to do today, before I'll tell you about how we can get to continue this work, because we got to continue. There's more. There's healing that needs to happen. Is I want you to journal out, how is my sexual self showing up right now? Is it more in that anxious way? Or is it more in that avoidant way? And what am I afraid of? What about showing up as my authentic self feels scary? Do I not even know what that means? Do I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm protecting myself because maybe you were sexually assaulted back in the day or recently, and your heart and your body is like, fuck no, I don't want to open myself up. Just journaling that down and being aware of that, yep, I am protecting this pain that happened to me, or pains, right? Oftentimes it's multiple. This is what's being protected. This is what my heart is holding on to. So really asking yourself, what is my heart holding on to that's not then allowing my heart and my sexual self to come out and play in full capacity? What's the pain I'm holding on to? And as a result, am I showing up anxiously, or am I showing up as avoidance, or am I doing a mix of both? Sometimes we do a mix of both. And this concludes our day 3. That we have the day 1, the day 2, the day 3. So I want you to really sink into all those pieces and just love and honor yourself. And I'm going to do at the end of this too, I'm going to still do another little mini meditation because I feel in that visualization, I feel that's really powerful for us. But what I want to do is I'm going to tell you about the next program that I have. And because my technology today was being super silly and my links were not working, I don't have the links all set up, but it doesn't matter because if you want to sign up, you just send me a message. It's easy peasy like that. And this is redonkulous, like absolutely redonkulous. I'm so excited. I have so many goodies in that. So the program that I have coming up is when it leads in from all these pieces that we have been talking about, it leads right into that, and it's called Empowered Pleasure, right? Being empowered in ourselves, empowered in our sexual self, empowered in the pleasure that we get to receive and experience, and showing up, just as I said just a moment ago, so that you feel really empowered. So you know how to initiate intimacy, you know how to say no, you know how you want to show up. And the biggest piece is the heart, and really healing what are the pains in the past that you are holding on to so that you can show up empowered. Because we can't show up empowered if our heart is holding on to the pain. Pain and empowered doesn't go hand in hand. So we want to really make sure that we heal those pieces. And in the program, so it's 6 weeks that we're going to do for this program, and it's going to start on the 20th. So it is right before the American Thanksgiving. So what we're going to do for that first week is some pre-work. So there's going to be some pre-work that happens in there so we can get really immersed in these pieces. And then we're going to jump into our lessons. So we're going to have lessons, which is going to be more like this, but deeper. We're going to have homework lessons. There's going to be a lot of really change and transformation for you. And which I'm freaking excited about, is I'm going to include 2 group coaching calls in this program. So what I mean by those group coaching calls is we're going to hop on Zoom and you're going to get a hotspot coaching call. So that's about like 15-ish minutes, kind of give or take, depending on what comes up for you, so that you can get some personal attention. Because what I have found is when we get personal attention, and I know this for myself too, when we have some one-on-one shifts and focuses even just a little bit, then that can really skyrocket and make the transformations and the healings and the changes for you to become more empowered in your pleasure to happen that much faster. That's why even working with me one-on-one, change happens like immensely because we get in and we heal. I'm not a surface gal. I don't do Band-Aid stuff. The Band-Aid stuff, right? If you imagine like a Band-Aid covering up a like gunshot wound, it's not really gonna work. I don't do Band-Aid stuff. I'm a healer, and I have had 8 years in this work, and I know the wounds. Like I was messaging a gal the other day who was talking to me about one-on-one and interested in that, and I knew immediately what healing that she needed to have happen because I know this work so well, and I know what the pains that our hearts hold on to. So we're going to have 2 of those group coaching calls that are going to happen, and for as long as they're going to be, for as many women who show up in that. So if we have 10 women in the program, then I'm going to be on for as long as it covers to make sure that you get your one-on-one time. And what's really so freaking awesome about these group coaching calls too is not only you learn from yourself, but you learn from the other women that show up and a question that they might have so that you can go, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. And you'll see me coaching them too, so that you get to experience that and really go, oh my gosh. There are times in group coaching that I'm even a part of where I learn so much from the other women and what they experience and how they talk to the other coach, because we learn in connection with others. And I want this program to be a really safe container for you and with the other women so that we can rise together and be empowered together and feel the shifts and the changes together. So with that, and I'm so excited for the group coaching, like I'm freaking out. So, and I'm going to pull up my notes because there's just so many goodies that are here. So it's the 6 weeks. So we're going to do the 6 weeks that are there. We're going to have a mix of lessons, homework. There's going to be some pre-work. We're going to have those 2 group coaching calls, and oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. So it's going to take us all the way through the end of the year. So we're going to end right at the beginning of the year. So we get to finish out 2020, which it's been an up, down, and all around for us. Hasn't it, ladies? So we want to finish this year with strength and with power and creating this big shift inside of yourself and feeling really strong in your sexual self, within yourself and in your body and with intimacy with another. So even if you're married or not married, if you're single, if you're dating, doesn't matter. The empowerment of our sexual self and the empowerment of the pleasure inside of us happens no matter what. So we're going to cover we're going to cover those pieces of the connection with others, but it's the heart of you. This is the big piece that we're going to really, really be looking at. And if you have any questions along the way, let me know. So we're going to start on the 20th. The 20th, we're going to have a kind of a welcome call. We're going to get immersed in that, really talk more about our sexual self and that empowerment of ourselves. And we're going to then have the pre-work, and I'm not going to get into all of the nitty gritty on that. It's just trust it's going to be awesome. So this is where things get really amazing, like freaking amazing. So all of that, so the 6 weeks that we have and the 2 group coaching calls, if you pay in full, it's $777. Like that's it, which is insane. Like the group coaching calls of it in itself should be way more, like absolutely way more. And I'm so excited. There's like, I knew as I was creating this program, I'm like, I got to do the group coaching calls. It needs to be included so I can make sure that you ladies are feeling supported, because safety is so key for me, and having the safe container and feeling supported so that your sexual self can go through the healing that it needs to, so that you can show up with empowerment and have all the tools and understanding on how to do that. I want to give you everything to make sure that you are supported in that. So it's $777, or it's 2 payments of $450. So you would make the first payment of $450, and then 1 month from now, so 4 weeks from now, you would make the second payment, which is freaking amazing and awesome. And so there's VIP stuff too. So if you want some extra goodies, extra support, which I know a lot of us women really do. So the VIP, what that gives you is you get all the lessons, you get the 2 group coaching calls, and you get 2 one-on-one calls with me. And that's $1,111. And all of these prices, because you ladies are in this program here, nobody else is going to get this. Only anyone who is in this container right now. When I release this to the public on Friday, so the prices are going to go up on Friday, then they're going to go up a couple $100 from this. So you're getting like super awesome exclusive pricing, which is amazing. So the $1,111, so that's paid in full. If you want to do 2 payments of that, it's $625. And so you get the 2 calls, one-on-one calls with me. So during that 6 weeks, we'll schedule 2 calls. It's kind of nice to do 1 in the first 3 weeks and then 1 in the second 3 weeks, but we'll look at what really works for that for you. So if you do the VIP, and there's only a few spots for VIP because I'm only just one lady and I can't do all the one-on-ones. So that's the VIP, which is super amazing. And if you want like really extra support, there's the VVIP, which is like being a very, very intentional woman, very intentional person, is you get all of the things mentioned above. So we have the calls, we have the 2 group coaching calls, you get 2 of the one-on-one calls, and you get Voxer access to me. And what Voxer access is, if you don't know what Voxer is, it's kind of like Facebook Messenger, but even fancier. And so it's in a separate app, and you get to voice message me, or it's basically you have me in your pocket for 6 weeks. You can ask me any questions, right? You can even message me on a Saturday. I don't always respond immediately right away. Usually, sometimes there's some time in between, but you get one-on-one attention. And this is something that I usually have only held for if you're a one-on-one client of mine. And if you're in my 6-month or 1-year one-on-one coaching that I have, they get Voxer access to me. So this is the first time where I am giving a little bit of that into those who sign up for my program. So that is $1,555 for the VVVIP. So if you really want the big support on this, if you even want to know what it's like to work with me and really know what it's like to get that support and see what that's like, and maybe you're wondering, maybe I want to work with a one-on-one coach, this is your chance to really experience that without the big, long commitment. So you get kind of a flavor and a taste of that, which is awesome. So that is $1,555, or you can split that up into 2 payments of $850, which is awesome. So I'm just so blown away by that, and I'm gonna add even more, and I'm like so legit even excited. I gotta water up, lube up. Pun intended. Side note, if you need lubrication, totally go for it. It's fine. Make sure your body's getting warmed up, and that's not the actual case, but lube is fine. Totally use lube. Just a little extra there. So if you and I know this sounds like totally like salesman pieces, but if you in the next 24 hours, so what time is it right now? So it is 5:17 my time. So 5:17. So we'll say 6. We'll round it up to 6 Mountain Standard Time. So that's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the next 24 hours. So if you do either the kind of the general program where you still get the 2 group coaching calls, if you pay in full for that, or if you do any of the VIPs, what I want to give to you is so I have an online course that's completely recorded and you do it at your own pace. If you do it all at once, it's about 6 weeks, but you'll get that for completely free. And it's a bunch of videos. It's the intro guide. So it's the Intentional Intimacy intro guide for intentional women. So you'll get that for free. And I'm going to include 1 extra group coaching call. So if you pay in full for that, for the 777, or if you do any of the VIP, that even if you do the payment plan or you do the pay in full, then you'll get that extra group coaching call and you'll get that the intro guide, which is basically a 6-week course all in of itself. So you'll get that completely free, but that's only if you sign up for any of those things in the next 24 hours. So today is Wednesday. So Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, then that 24-hour deal goes away by end of day on Friday. So end of day on Friday what day is that? I should know my days. Well, Friday, but I know some of you gals are in different parts of the world. So, I love it. Friday the 13th. So on Friday the 13th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that's 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, that's when all of these extra bonuses and the cheaper cost for you ladies goes away. Because on Friday, I'm going to announce that to the world. I'm going to announce that on my personal profile. I'm going to announce it on Instagram, which if we're not friends on there yet, at Dr. Chelsea Page. Totally would love to connect with you. So on Friday at midnight Eastern Standard Time, then all the prices are going up. So, and it's going to go up a couple $100 on each of those pieces, everything, all the general and the VIP and the VVIP. So if you want to get in, like really in the next 24 hours, that's where it's at, because you're going to get everything. Like if you do the VIP for $1,111 and you get 2 calls with me, and you get now you get the 3 group coaching calls, because if you sign up in the next 24 hours, that's insane. And if you do the VVVIP, then you get the 2 calls with me. And you know what? I'm going to add in actually a 3rd one, because I don't know. VVVIP, that means you're a very intentional person. So if you get that one with the Voxer access, I'm going to give you 3 individual calls with me. But that's only in the next 24 hours. And all the other goodies, the free program that I gave you, and the extra group coaching. So I know I just said a whole bunch there. If you have any questions, and I'll put a post in the group as well. If you have any questions at all, and if you want to sign up, send me a direct message, because again, my links are all being silly. So I didn't get them up just now to be able to post them right now. But if you're in, just send me a direct message and I'll get you all signed up, and I'm excited. So if you have any questions, let me know. And that is it. But let's do our last meditation, which is so exciting. So, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this program. I'm not going to lie. So yes, if you have any questions about it, let me know. But let me pull out our song here. I'm going to take a big deep breath, because I have all the excited energy in me. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. So many goodies that are usually held only just for my one-on-one clients. So this is a way for you to really get a feeling and get support and practice being vulnerable and open, especially in the group coaching, because it's you showing up as you and just understanding that all of us women have experienced very similar things. There's no judgment, no shame, any of those pieces that we get to learn and heal together as a collective. Like, how amazing and how powerful is that? So send me a direct message if you want any of that. Let's take a big deep breath. Let's close all of this out in a very powerful way to just honor our hearts, right? We really honored our sexual self, our mind, our body, and our heart this is where it's at. This is where the healing we want to be, and that's where we're diving more in the Empowered Pleasure program, and it's just going to be phenomenal. So let's take a big deep breath, ladies. I'm going to put on our music. Make sure it's not muted. Take a big deep breath in. Hold it in your belly and breathe out. Put your hands on your heart. Breathing in deeply. Breathing out. There has been a lot of pain in your heart. As beautiful and as vivacious as your heart has been, it's been held back. It's been restricted. It's holding on to pain and hurt that has happened to you as a kid, as a teenager, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever age you are. And that pain that is in your heart is not your fault. The pain that's there is not something to be mad at yourself for or to be upset about. We just want to notice that pain and give love to that pain and love to your heart, love to yourself. There's been so many situations in your past where you have been hurt, and who you are today is someone who gets to be empowered to show up for that little girl that was hurt, to show up for that teen you that was hurt, to show up for that adult you that was hurt, to do the healing that needs to happen, to build the trust in your heart, to understand that it is safe to be you, it is safe to show up sexually, that you get to define your own desire, you get to show up in a way that you want to. You're the leader. You are the leader of you. You are the leader of your heart. When you lead from your soul, you do the healing inside of your heart from all of those past pains. When you step further into your empowered place, you stop the pain because you've healed it. You no longer live from the past. You live empowered and you move on to your future in a way that is so full of pleasure, so full of desire, so full of so much light, feeling that it is okay, it is safe, it is you that gets to be you. You are not your pain. What your heart is holding on to and that pain that's inside of you does not define you. It gets to be shifted. It gets to be healed. I want you to take a big deep breath and imagine sending a big white light of love straight to your heart, pressing down even on your heart with your hands so that you can reassure you that we're going to be okay. The healing journey is here. The pain will no longer be what leads me. I'm sending love to my heart for all the pain that has happened in the past, and I will step forward in full empowerment to heal what's inside. I felt all of that. Take a big deep breath. Come back to me. It brings some tears to my eyes. I love you ladies so much, and I am so honored that you have chose to be here, that you said yes to being in my container, because that just shows how much you trust me to really lead you in some of these places, and just the trust that you have in yourself to say yes to this, to be open to this, to really know that you deserve to have a desire that's defined by you, that you get to show up for you how you want to, and that you get to connect with others in a way that is in full intimacy, and that is okay. I am so proud of you for saying yes. I'm so proud of you for being in this program, and I'm so honored to be a part of your journey. And if this is the end of our journey together, thank you so much. And if we get to continue together, whether it's even on social media, if you want to work with me one-on-one, if you want to be in the next Empowered Pleasure program, send me a direct message. I am here for you, lovely. All right. I love you so much. Mwah. Sending you so much love.